century, and as an elementary school teacher, what we need in this 21st century classroom to approach our teaching and learning to a new approach. Before we can achieve this, we need a key aspect for us to embrace this new approach in form of using technological integration. Because of the nature of diverse learners need, we need a diverse learning approach. We need a collaborative learning environment. As you all know that technology is a central part of learning environment. And we need to shift our mindset from the traditional way approach, whereby we use the blackboard with chalk. In my case, in Nigeria, the new approach now, we are using an interactive whiteboard. Schools involved by using tab as a form of learning, while some embrace the online platform, something like Mode, and others embracing educational apps in order to transmit knowledge into their students. Digital literacy is essential for students to grow this 21st century. You as a teacher, you need to embrace this 21st century approach in terms of your preparation for your lesson notes, ensuring that you integrate the technological aspect of this century. You as a teacher, you need to cater for your students because they are coming from various backgrounds. And the learning style you use for A is quite different for what B can actually embrace. So you need a mindset of diverse learning approach to actually monitor that each of your students is carried along in the course of you disseminating the knowledge. Collaborations is very essential in the 21st century because we are living the approach of teacher to student, but whereas we need to give more room for feedback, whereby you have to engage the student to actually exhibit what we refer to as critical thinking, another aspect of activities that will make their learning essential. Going forward, I have 6 essential skills that I've highlighted in my preparation for this webinar. The first one has to do with technological providence. The second one deals with inclusive teaching. The third one, we talk about the communication and collaboration aspects. The fourth one, I'm going to be talking about the critical thinking and problem solving ability that is needed in this 21st century. While the fifth point, I will elaborate on creativity and innovation, while the last one will be speaking on social emotional learning and well-being of your students. Technological providence involves using educational software, creating digital learning resources, whereby you integrate technology in terms of preparing your lesson notes. You as a 21st century teacher, you need to embrace tech SWAT teaching approach, and you need to carry along your students in exhibiting this new technological providence. This technological providence is essential for you as elementary school teacher to effectively engage your students in order for you to also enhance their learning readiness and prepare them to succeed in this 21st century. This digital learning goes beyond just learning on the computer basics, but you need to make them to understand the good aspect of using online learning platform and digital resources to actually engage them beyond just writing from the chalkboard or the whiteboard, but actually to use their God-given intellectual in exhibiting their creativity mind in the 21st century world. You as a teacher, don't forget you need to embrace yourself, go beyond the box by learning the 21st century digital applications and software such as LMS, which is known as Learning Management System. You need to embrace video conferences such like the one we are doing currently. At the same time, you need to engage them on how to use digital content to actually understand the deeper concept of what you're actually teaching them, so that it will not just be you bringing out a textbook or bringing out a software, whereas you as a teacher, you don't even know the in-depth of what you want to pass across to the student. So you as a 21st century teacher, you need to embrace this technological approach whereby you need to go for more trainings that will actually give you a seamless engagement in terms of using this application to disseminate those information for your students. Talking about inclusive teaching, it involves creating a classroom where all students feel valued and supported, exposing them to the power of teamwork, preparing them all to actually carry out a given task, either mathematically, either scientifically, or either in an approach that they need to actually think before providing a reasonable solution. It is your responsibility as an elementary school teacher in this 21st century to actually embrace this one-size-fits-all method to actually ensure that your student is carried along, because once they are not carried along, they might feel tired, they might not be interested in what you're actually trying your best to expose them to. They might seem choked in such a way that coming for the next class will be, they will see it as unnecessary. But if you use this technological approach, they will discover their individual strengths, and may be good at solving mathematical approach, and my friend might not be good, but because you have used the approach of doing peer-to-peer learning approach, it will give them some emotional development, that they are not being left aside, or the classroom does not see as if whether they come to class or they do not come to class, the class still move on. In this type of learning style, it will make the student or the learners to feel valued by their co-learners. And the interesting part is that it makes their learning more flexible than just the approach of saying, solve this mathematical problem. But by the time you give them a collective task to be carried out, it will actually makes the class more interesting, and the ability to come to learn more will actually be exposed to them. Talking about communication, effective communication, as we all know, is a way of building strong relationship. And this can only be done when you, as a 21st century elementary teacher, you actually make learning not to seem very difficult, but to see it as a form of gamification, as a form of exhibiting their curiosity, as a form of exposing them to the reality, as a form of sharing their own ideas, maybe their thoughts, as a form of building that creativity in them so that they will be able to master the art of communication and interacting not only to their teachers, not only to their class member, but to the world at large. Talking about building creativity, building creative thinking, and providing problem-solving skill, you as a 21st century teacher, you need to equip yourself with what we call PLL, that is project-based learning. Project-based learning is all about applying knowledge and skill in a way of asking questions and receiving feedback with different technical approach. It involves a shift from teacher-centered approach to student-driven learning environment, where you have to encourage your students to ask questions, just to find a solution to some certain problem in order for them to be able to apply those skills and knowledge they will gain in the course of you disseminating those new approach or those new techniques you have discovered as a teacher, to actually see it as a means to exploit what you are trying to see, pass across to them. This PLL involves students engaging in complex real-world projects that require them to apply multiple skills and knowledge. And most times, it will have to involve them carrying out the kind of research to make some new discovery. And it will also help their adaptability to be able to look at solution. And I believe if every elementary school teacher should embrace this technique, teaching and learning will be more interesting than just, this is what I know, I did and the class is. When you have a interact, students will always find it more interesting than just pouring out your mind to them and asking them to agree to your perspective about such a situation. Going forward to my fifth point, creativities and innovation. The importance of creativities and innovation in teaching should encourage you as a teacher, teaching style and material that will not just give them what has been in existence, but you exposing them to the current reality, exposing them to think outside the box, exposing them to a new strategies of learning activities, which involves gamification. You can use it in form of game to actually test their level of creativity. You can bring something up that look like like a dice or chess, just to actually make your teaching learning strategy more flexible, so that you not just be you are looking at a manual just like a textbook. And what the author has said in the textbook, you just want to pour it for them. But when the student discover you are being more robustic for them, and to actually increase their motivation to learn. So I want to urge you, as a 21st century elementary school teacher, to actually embrace flexible teaching strategies into your teaching methodologies and materials, so that students will enjoy the learning environment. Your goal for these creativities and innovation is not just to teach a particular topic, but to figure out, to inspire them, to give them more reason why they need to increase their curiosity level, increase their thinking facility, and in order for them to provide reasonable solutions that will make the society a suitable place to live. Going to the last point that I have termed social emotional learning and the well-being. Social and emotional learning and well-being is very essential for elementary school teacher in this 21st century. These skills are essential to the changing world, where we have social media, anxiety about the future. And I must say that research has shown that students who have strong social emotional learning environment are more likely to engage in learning platform and to perform better academically and develop positive relationship within and outside the learning environment. So you, as a 21st century elementary school teacher, you need to create a safe and inclusive classroom whereby you actively listen to their communication, expose them to the reason why they need to trust their peers, and the reason why they need to see teamwork as a very powerful strategies in the journey of life. Because most time is discovered, maybe in the part of the world where I am, an average child spend longer time in the school than at home. So most time, the learning and what they are being taught and what they exhibit in the learning environment becomes part of their future characteristics. If they do not see learning as a place whereby it is sweet as if they are still in their homes with their brothers and sisters, then they will have this mindset of, I'm just competing with my classmates. But let them see the reason why they need to see school or their class as a means to interact, to share ideas, to bring out new innovations that will actually change our society for good. I hope the little contribution I've shared this evening will be of the mass benefit to you as a 21st century elementary school teacher. Thank you all for listening. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Mose Adel. Are you finished the presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for Mr. Mose Adel and Magister Education for giving such information and interesting presentation. Maybe I apologize if my pronunciation of your name is wrong. I'm so sorry. Next, and gentlemen, now we come to question and answer session. I'd like to have any questions from the participants. Please click icon raise hand on your screen if you have any question. And if you don't want the question, you can write in the text box. Question can be written in the chat box, free to use Indonesian or English. For ladies and gentlemen, I welcome for the question. Teman-teman yang mau bertanya, silakan boleh diketik di chat box-nya atau dibacakan kalau kalau mungkin sedikit malu bisa di chat box-nya ya. Tapi raise hand dulu biar saya bisa cek di chat box-nya gitu.
Mas Aldi, ini
Yes.
ada Bu Intan Permatasari, ya. Bu Intan ya, Bu Intan nanti bisa bantu untuk menerjemahkan juga.
Baik.
Ya, halo, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, I got sudden notification from Bu Fitri. Sorry for the sudden, sorry for the sudden interruption, for joining here. But I'll be helping you guys to understand or translate the things that Mr. Moses explains. Thank you.
Sama-sama Ibu. Oke teman-teman, silahkan yang mau tanya boleh di chat box-nya diketik. Oh, ada Mbak Zulfa, silahkan. Oke, makasih Mbak Zulfa.
Okay, I think I saw the question in the chat box. Can you check that?
Yes. From Zulfa.
Okay.
The first question is, we can learn 20th century skills in the real life, besides in the college, where we can learn them. Oh, okay. Thank you, Zulfa.
Okay. I think number one strategies we use in Nigeria, when you are in the college as an intending teacher, we have what we call internship. Apart from exposing you in the school, in Nigeria, if you are going for what we call Nigeria certificate in education, it's like a diploma for 3 years. So after your learning experience in the first year, you are expected to go for a 6-week internship at your second year. This internship is actually to expose you to how to teach. You are going there to observe. The first time you are going to observe for that 6 weeks. That observation, you have to know how to teach, how to stand in front of your student, the dressing code, the speech, the interactive aspect of it. And if you want to develop yourself beyond what the school is preparing you, I believe there are many tech organizations in Indonesia that can actually expose you to this 21st century technological approach. And if you cannot go for that, maybe because of the duration of coming back from work, going to school, attending to family issues, and the rest, I believe YouTube is another means of you getting exposed to the reality of this 21st century we are talking about. We have beginners on YouTube that can actually teach you and guide you on the step-by-step approaches you use for these tools that I've mentioned before. So I believe it's possible for you to actually make use of 20th century that I've actually listed above.
Okay, thank you, Miss Moses. And next question from Mela Agustina.
Okay.
Does elementary school learning there implement different learning where learning adapts to the characteristic of each student?
Come again.
In the text and the textbook from Mela Agustina,
Okay.
does elementary school learning there implement differentiated learning where learnings adapt to the characteristics of each student?
You as an elementary school teacher, number one skill you need is the observation skill. You observe your students. Most time in Nigeria, we use a kind of strategies. When I was an ed teacher, we use a kind of strategies of changing the teachers in a particular class. Let's say, for instance, last year you were in primary 1. You are the class teacher of primary 1. This year, they change you to primary 2. The first thing you need to do as a class teacher is to observe each student, to know their weak point and their strength. In the process of knowing their strength and their weak point, you'll be able to help them. For somebody who is good at arts, you know that when it is time for you to take some courses that has to do with that, it's going to help in guiding other students. Somebody who is good at mathematical problems, you'll be able to identify such a student, and such a student will be like a second-hand guide for his peers to actually expose them beyond what you will teach them, maybe at their lecture time. So the implementation of these characteristics need to be discovered by you, and you as a teacher, you need to help such students to minimize such characteristics that are negative, that will not be good in the classroom and in our society. You are our representative to help the students to actually eliminate those negative characteristics that will bring an hindrance to the teaching and learning environment of your class.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moses, for the answer and the second question. Ibu Fitri, kalau boleh bertanya, ini kira-kira sampai jam berapa nggak?
Oke, biasanya kalau dengan Pak Taufik itu hanya 1 jam itu, Mas.
Oh, berarti
mungkin karena tadi mulainya sudah terlambat ya mungkin kurang lebih ada 2 atau 3 pertanyaan lagi. Tapi kalau bisa pertanyaannya nanti jawabannya sudah bisa dijelaskan Bu Intan, dibantu dijelaskan Bu Intan. Mohon maaf suaranya saya tidak terlalu terdengar soalnya.
Berarti ini mungkin 1 pertanyaan lagi deh.
1 atau 2 pertanyaan, Mas.
Okay, Mr. Moses. Maybe we can answer 1 or 2 question again from Muhammad Adinugroho.
Maybe will be raise hand.
Yes, Mas.
Cahyani, Mbak Cahyani.
Oh,
or Mbak Viva.
Oke, Mbak Cahyaning ya?
Ya, monggo.
Oh, pakai bahasa Indonesia. Bu Intan, permisi Bu.
Yeah, alright. So, what do I do? Do I have to translate Miss Cahyaning's question? Yes.
The question in the text, in the chat box, Bu.
Alright. Okay. So I see the question now. Mr. Moses, here's a question from Miss Cahyaning. It says, what are the personal skills which are important for an elementary school teacher to be successfully
Hello?
Hello, Miss Intan.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I think I lost my connection for a while, so I'm going to repeat again. Let me check the question again. Okay. What are the important interpersonal skills for an elementary school teacher to successfully teach students?
I believe that what 21st century elementary school teacher need to actually succeed, just as I've mentioned before, you need to have an effective communication skill. You need the ability to use collaborative effort in your teaching approach. You need good relationship with your student that will make teaching and learning to be flexible. You need to understand three key elements if you will succeed in learning environment as an elementary school teacher.
Okay. Thank you for the answer, Mr. Moses. The last question, ada yang mau raise hand dulu biar saya pilih pertanyaannya. Kalau tidak ada, tak pilih di chat box-nya ya.
Ada Mas Winahyu.
Oh, Mbak Winahyu. Mbak Winahyu. Dari Mbak Winahyu ya, sebentar.
Langsung saja presennya.
Ya Mbak Winahyu.
Langsung berbicara Mbak Winahyu.
Are you there?
Ya, boleh bahasa Indonesia ya, Bu ya?
Boleh. Nanti diterjemahkan Mas Aldi.
Boleh Mbak Wina, silakan. Silakan Mbak.
dibuka mic-nya. Please open your mic. Oke.
Di Indonesia itu kan ada suatu pembelajaran itu berbasis proyek atau project based learning. Nah, apakah di sana atau di Nigeria itu juga menerapkan pembelajaran tersebut?
Okay, thank you for the question, Miss Winahyu. For Mr. Moses, the question is, in Indonesia, there is project-based learning. Does it apply project learning in there, in your country?
Hello?
Hello?
I did not get your last statement. You talk about project learning approach.
Yes.
What is the question all about?
Does the project-based learning is apply in there, and to apply project-based learning in the school, like that?
Yeah, project learning is applied in Nigeria in some selected international private schools, not all the schools. So it's very, very difficult because of the population of Nigeria and the population in public schools. Project learning approach made kind of difficult. However, there was a time, I think about 5 years ago, we have what we call president, and we have what we call governor, and we have, I think they use district in Indonesia. I'm not too sure, or region. But in Nigeria, we use what we call state. There was a time a state in Nigeria called Osun State. Governor, as at that time, make project learning approach kind of compulsory for all the public schools, and it was a great insight for other states to actually emulate. But the problem with our educational system is that Mr. A can be the governor of the state today, understanding and perspective to learning. Once it's no longer in the system, it might be very, very difficult for such approach to actually stand the end of time. I believe so much in project learning approach as one of the very good learning style that can make learning very, very flexible for students.
Other question?
And interact with their other colleagues.
Okay. Mbak Nahyu? Okay. On the what there are on this occasion, and because of limit time, we will continue maybe on other occasion. And I also apologize for the delay in the station dispenser.
Okay, Mas Aldi, I will give my regards. Boleh?
Monggo Ibu.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Moses, Prince Moses, for sharing your knowledge with us about teaching in Nigeria. I'm very happy and have benefit greatly from what was explained. I hope it will be very beneficial for education in Indonesia. Thank you very much. Okay, especially for primary schools. Thank you, and see you again in the next discussion. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay. Miss Fitri for the argument. And I'd like to thank so much to the speaker for informative and interesting presentation, and to the participant for very active in the participation. Hopefully, this summit will be beneficial for everybody. I mean, please give applause for the speaker and for you all. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Moses. Stay healthy.
you.
Okay.
Moses.
Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Mr.